Metal Cartoon Squad may just be the most underrated game on the DS. Though fairly unknown, it's certainly a hidden gem amongst its peers. First off, the visuals in this game are top-notch and rich with detail. There's no shortage of impressive particle effects either, making every explosion overly dramatic. The game is simple enough to pick up. You control a group of superheroes who battle cartoon villains as they race around each battlefield, collecting power-ups and tokens. The worlds are full of exciting obstacles and hazards like cannons and runaway trains, making every level feel fresh and different. It all comes together to create an enjoyable experience throughout each mission, as you're confronted with interesting scenarios within each stage. Where Metal Cartoon Squad really shines though is in its mix of action-packed thrills and strategic planning that must be mastered if you hope to succeed in each mission, requiring clever use of terrain and weapons alongside fast reflexes when shooting your pursuers down. But that's only scratching the surface. Metal Cartoon Squad leaves no stone unturned when it comes to fun factor. From colourful graphics to funny dialogue between your group members, the game never runs stale. Best of all though was this game proved challenging but not too hard, something that many games often forget about nowadays. The result is often exhausting yet rewarding gameplay that'll test even experienced players, much like you'd expect from the likes of Metal Slug, except here it's shrunken down perfectly for portable play on the DS. Nostalgia is an RPG for the Nintendo DS that takes players on a journey through a steampunk-inspired world. The game follows the story of a young man named Edward who is searching for his missing father. Along the way, he meets a variety of characters, each with their own unique personalities and stories. As Edward embarks on his quest, he discovers more about the world and its secrets. Now, the game is presented in a classic RPG fashion, with turn-based combat and an expansive world map that allows players to explore a huge variety of towns, dungeons, and other locations, each with their own unique look and feel. The game also features an interesting day and night cycle, which affects the types of monsters and items that can be found in each area. Also occupying these spaces are a cast of lovable NPCs that dramatically add to the world as a whole, but as with all RPGs, exploring is only half of the story. The combat system is simple and straightforward, but still offers plenty of depth for longtime fans. Players can choose from a range of weapons, armor, and items to equip their characters with, and they can also use special time magic spells to turn the tide of battle. The standout feature though has to be the unique chain system, which allows players to link together multiple attacks to create powerful combos. A lot of freedom is on offer here, which serves to spice up even the most mundane of encounters throughout the journey. Now, there's no way I could talk about nostalgia without mentioning the game's soundtrack, which is without a doubt one of the game's strongest aspects. It features a variety of tracks that capture the spirit of the game's steampunk setting and helps to create an immersive atmosphere which really adds to the game's overall charm. Overall, Nostalgia is an enjoyable RPG. The classic style and unique setting make it a great choice for fans of the genre. If you're looking for a colourful and delightfully chaotic game, Ontamarama for the Nintendo DS is an excellent choice. It's pitched as an innovative rhythm game, but that description doesn't do it justice. It's essentially a goofy version of Whack-A-Mole with a cognitive twist. The gameplay is refreshingly simple and easy to pick up, yet deceptively difficult to master. You play as one of a range of cute characters, each with their own unique abilities and strategies to use, with your job being to tap the colourful, non-threatening monsters on the touchscreen before they can object to music creation and mixed tasking minigames. The premise isn't a new or revolutionizing concept, but each level throws in something new, both sights and sounds. It's bright, cheerful, packed with music, sound effects, visual styles, and loads of character. You'll be humming along to the catchy soundtrack as you tap the colourful monsters and thwart their attempts to disrupt the beat. The turn-based gameplay of Ontamarama is surprisingly deep, with a ton of strategic options that are available to you during each turn. You can use every item you collect to create combos and chains that can quickly turn the tide of a battle, and when coupled with the various characters and skills that they can use, it makes for a highly replayable and varied experience. The minigames also inject some variety. It could be anything from sorting ingredients for a sushi master to herding disgruntled cows off a playing field. The graphics are bright and shiny, with enough charm and personality to keep the game from becoming samey. Of course, the sound is great too, as music is such a huge part of the game. It's light and catchy, with lots of humorous one-liners from the monsters and characters themselves. Overall, On Tamarama is a cheerful, light-hearted game that should appeal to all ages. Featuring plenty of fun and creativity, it manages to bring something new to the genre with its entertaining gameplay and delightful package. Bangai-O Spirits for the Nintendo DS is an absolute classic. If you're looking for a thrilling and challenging game, you'll find it in this fantastic action-packed shooter. At its core, Bangai-O Spirits is focused on making you identify and complete numerous objectives in order to progress through the level. You play as a tiny robot, and your mission is to fly around using various weapons and abilities to clear the level of enemies. It's a lot of fun to maneuver around the levels and get to hard-to-reach places, and a variety of weapon options help to keep the game from becoming stale. The gameplay is surprisingly complex and tactical. Each environment is filled with numerous enemies, each with their own individual attack patterns, weaknesses, and strengths to overcome. So defeating them requires more than just shooting, as there are numerous special techniques available as well, such as using bombs and shields to both cause massive damage but also protect yourself at the same time. In addition, there are numerous 3D style puzzles to engage and test the player's skills, which thankfully don't feel like an afterthought and actually add a meaningful way of mixing up the gameplay. The game features bright and lively visuals that create a soothing yet colourful atmosphere. On top of that, the developers did a great job of utilising the DS's features, allowing you to use the touchscreen to select weapons, maneuver your character, interact with the environment, and even activate special moves and attacks. All in all, Bangai-O Spirits on the DS is an amazing game, with innovative levels, unique weapons, subtle references, and plenty of humour. Whether you're a long-time fan of the series or a newbie, you'll find yourself fully immersed in the game due to its range of difficulty and strategy. If you haven't already, make sure you go out and grab this one. Touch the Dead is a unique and fun game for the Nintendo DS that has you fighting zombies with your stylus. If you're looking for a way to pass the time whilst on your commute, Touch the Dead has got you covered. The gameplay mechanics are simple and easy to learn. You move around, shoot zombies, collect bonus items, dodge traps, and tackle bosses. Although it's not very difficult in terms of puzzle solving or strategizing during boss fights, it can be surprisingly intense when swarms of enemies rush at you from all directions. What helps keep things interesting is that there's a range of weapons available, including a shield, which makes dispatching hordes of undead easier or even more challenging, depending on your choice of weaponry. What I especially enjoyed about Touch the Dead was its fun factor. No matter how many times I died, I couldn't bring myself to quit playing due to its quick load times, adjustable difficulty, and multiple scenarios, which gave my undead killing session some variety. These little additions make this an easy pick up and play title, while still keeping players involved long enough so they can perfect their technique and clear stages faster. What really helps set Touch the Dead apart from other zombie games though is its atmosphere. The gritty art style paired with excellent lighting really brings out the creepy vibe associated with zombie games without making them feel over the top or cliche. Overall, Touch the Dead on Nintendo DS is an enjoyable experience, which offers hours upon hours of engaging gameplay, provided that no one gets sick from mowing down endless numbers of slow-moving undead creatures. The legendary Starfy on the Nintendo DS is perhaps one of the most overlooked games on the console. While the vibrant visuals, catchy music, and expertly crafted levels may seem like expected features of a quality platformer, what makes the legendary Starfy stand out is the full understanding of why a game like this would entertain the wider audience. It's an interesting premise. An aquatic hero from a distant land, Starfy or Starfy depending on how you want to say it, embarks on a quest to free his home from the clutches of an evil tyrant. From the very start of the journey, Starfy does a wonderful job of introducing the small cast of characters that players will come to know and love throughout the campaign, and as a result, it presents a surprisingly deep story for a game of its nature. The adventure is largely split up into a series of levels, with each being designed to teach the player something new about movement, enemies, power-ups, and how it all needs to be used to reach the end goal. Naturally, as you progress, the enemy encounters become more intense, but the way the game teaches you how to move around and defeat them will have you clearing the screen in no time. The special power-ups available to Starfy provide even greater opportunities for exploration and puzzle solving, from being able to use a special balloon to fly across long distances, to being able to drill through hard surfaces to uncover hidden paths. The special power-ups are some of the most unique and useful of the game, and spending coins on these power-ups can be more than worth it, as they often bring you to areas in the game that were otherwise inaccessible, giving you access to rare items, powers, and much more. The legendary Starfy is a great game for anyone looking for a traditional platformer with a unique twist. It's got great controls, good challenge, and the graphics and music help to make the game world feel alive. If you're looking for a solid platformer on the DS, then you should definitely consider this one. Super Dodgeball Brawlers for the Nintendo DS is an absolute gem. It's an intense and action-packed game that puts a unique twist on the classic sport of dodgeball and features an original story, multiple game modes, and a wide variety of characters to choose from. The game's primary mode is without a doubt the story, which follows the exploits of a team of dodgeball players as they aim to become the best in the world. During each story mission, players must use the various dodgeballs and abilities of their team to defeat other teams in a variety of different types. These range from basic dodgeball matches to more complex variations such as King of the Hill, Capture the Flag, and Dodgeball Soccer. One of the biggest fun factors is of course the gameplay itself, but more specifically how it's further enhanced by the various power-ups that can be unlocked by playing through the story mode. These power-ups range from defensive items such as shields and speed boosts to offensive items such as special attacks and power shots. In addition to the story mode, Super Dodgeball Brawlers offers up a serious amount of different ways to play. These include a tournament mode where up to 4 players can compete in a single elimination tournament, a challenge mode which features several unique challenges, and a tag team mode where 2 teams of 2 players can compete against each other. This brings into focus the game's staggering amount of characters you get to unlock and choose from. These characters range from comical animals to classic dodgeball players, with each of them having their own unique set of skills and abilities, which as a result contributes a great deal towards the replay value of the game. Overall, Super Dodgeball Brawlers is a great game for fans of the classic sport of dodgeball. The fast-paced gameplay and unique power-ups add a great deal of excitement to the game, making it a great choice for anyone looking for something easy to pick up and play. Mazes of Fate is an action-adventure that released for the DS in 2007. While it is a small title often overlooked by gamers, it's notably one of the few games of its kind on the DS and offers much to love. The game consists of a series of mazes and dungeons populated with monsters, traps, and precious treasures to find. The game's main characters, Seth and Rana, are the main protagonists of the story and each have unique abilities for navigating perilous environments. As you progress through the dungeons, you'll encounter a wealth of new enemies, some of whom are animals, others are giant insects, or even humanoid foes like wizards. The dungeons can be quite challenging as each is procedurally generated and no 2 playthroughs are ever the same, offering an infinite amount of replayability. Now the visual presentation in Mazes of Fate DS is both charming and daunting. The game features detailed environments, including dungeons and towns that are lovingly detailed and capture the charm and the feel of the original on the Game Boy Advance. The character models and 3D effects give the game an extra layer of depth and nicely complements the game's overall look. But the soundtrack also deserves praise as it serves as an excellent companion to the actions on screen and is sure to delight gamers. Overall, Mazes of Fate offers a great action adventure on the DS. It boasts a huge variety of levels and customization options, ensuring hours of replayability. If you're looking for an action adventure, you could do much worse than Mazes of Fate. At first glance, you might think Chronos Twin is just another scrolling platformer, but the truth lies beneath its surface. The mechanics are sophisticated, the visual style modern and crisp, and the soundtrack adds to this more than meets the eye aesthetic perfectly. What sets Chronos Twin apart from other games in its genre is its revolutionary time travel mechanic. If you die in one timeline or the top screen, it rewinds you to before your fatal misstep while continuing with progress made in the parallel timeline, displayed on the bottom screen. This unique mechanic provides a thought-provoking challenge as well as a very creative approach to level design. Levels that at first may seem impossible can be completed if you consider how changes made in one timeline impact another. It goes without saying that Chronos Twin really pushes platforming beyond its traditional boundaries while providing an overwhelming sense of satisfaction when completing stages under difficult conditions. The story of your hero's quest within two timelines provides motivation to keep progressing through each stage. His struggle against evil forces culminates in missions that gradually increase the challenge throughout your journey. The game's visuals are also top-notch. Vibrant colours pop off the screen while cleverly designed enemies come right at you. On top of this, there is just enough humour throughout Chronos Twin to prevent it from becoming too overwhelming, allowing for moments of lightheartedness without disrupting its intensity. Overall, Chronos Twin is an enjoyable experience on almost all levels, due largely in part to its humorous charm coupled with an engaging story and gameplay specifically tailored towards a handheld gaming console. Beyond the Yellow Brick Road for the Nintendo DS is sure to bring you hours of nostalgia-filled fun. Much like the beloved book, this game follows the story of Dorothy and her trusted companions on their quest to the Emerald City. Gameplay consists of exploring the different areas of Oz, meeting new friends, and defeating nefarious villains. You'll travel through a variety of environments, including Munchkinland, the Haunted Forest, and of course the Emerald City itself. Now, the battle system in Beyond the Yellow Brick Road is turn-based, but still very engaging. You'll find yourself closely observing the characters' turn order and tactics in order to use them to your advantage. As you would expect, there's a generous amount of skills to learn along the way, which contribute to your effectiveness in battle. But that's not the only aspect, as the game also features a pretty robust customization system that allows you to outfit yourself with a range of different items and abilities as well. Doing so allows for a more strategic approach to battles and can create some very interesting effects. The game includes plenty of minigames and puzzles, as well as boss fights where you'll need to use your strategic skills to defeat them. The puzzles are cleverly designed and never feel too difficult, and there is also a great deal of content to explore, including secret areas and rare items that can be sought out and discovered. Beyond the Yellow Brick Road is an enjoyable title that the entire family can get involved in. It is great for younger players as it doesn't contain any violence, but also suits casual and veteran fans alike. Along with the simple, engaging gameplay and well-designed visuals, the dynamic and charming characters make it an absolute joy to play. Well, that does it for today's video. Keep an eye out for part 2 as that will be coming up soon, so don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell to get notified. You can follow me on all of the socials to stay up to date, which are all linked below, as well as join my growing community on Discord to meet many like-minded gamers to continue the conversation with. I'd like to give a special shout out to my Patreon supporters: Rhino, Skill Jim, Shuden, Richard, Amy, Daniel, Paul, Dio, Omar, Stride, Pierre, Carl, Awesome Jacket Dude, GameCube Galaxy, and Paddy J for their continued support that helps make these videos possible. If you're interested in joining my Discord or supporting the channel through Patreon, you'll find all of these links in the description. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch the video. I'll catch you next time.